Hey folks, it's Rick. I'm going to do another very, very careful guitar review. This time, it's this IYV guitar. Or is it just IYV? Or is it IVY? Here's elevated jam tracks. Shape of a Paul Reed Smith type semi-hollow. It's got this bit here. Pretty impressive top, I gotta say. And it's got this ivy going up the neck. Somebody who speaks Vietnamese, tell me what that says. IYV. Is it IYV? I don't know. When I first got it, the strings were pretty high, and I looked at the neck. It was the right amount of relief, I think. I just lowered this down a hair. Plays really well. I tested all the frets. None of them are dead. It's got a fair amount of fret sprout, especially up here. They're pretty sharp. This has an adjustable second and third string module there. In an inexpensive guitar, the PRS SEs don't put those in. Well, maybe they do now. But make sure the intonation is as close as I can get it. Even though there's only 3 places to adjust it. But, you know what? Guitar playing is not an exact sport. This is IYV. That's how they spelled it. IYV. IYV. Now, if you go onto Amazon, you can find this guitar, but it's called an IVY. IVY. But the name of the company, Yin Guitars, have strong fretboard without bending, good tapering. Does that mean it's strong as long as you don't bend on it? It feels pretty strong. And good sounds because they're made by a CNC machine with 3D computer programming. This company really likes to push the idea that they're using a CNC machine. Destiny CNC wound pickups. I've never heard of that. It's got to be something really amazing. Destiny. with some sort of flame top, likely a veneer. It says on one of the things I read that it's a mahogany body, and the top is a flamed maple veneer. He bought a set of GFS humbuckers, and I'm not sure that I don't know that I would switch these out. I think that these sound pretty good. This is a semi-hollow, so there's a center block, but I stuck a rod up in here, and it came up to about here. So this is hollow up in here, all the way down to here, and also on this side. It's a wraparound bridge. The holes don't come out of a little pin in the back. They go underneath, and they wrap. The string wraps from underneath. So it's a little different. It does have an adjustable piece for the second and third string, so it's compensated, which is a nice touch. I didn't have to turn it, or I didn't have to move it. I did have to pull the whole bridge back a little bit, and it's right in. I did have to lower this a little bit from when I got it because the strings were a little bit high, but the neck angle is perfect. When I took the strings off, it was perfectly straight, and when I put the strings back on, there's just a wee bit of bow in it, which is great because then you can set this kind of a little bit lower, and you can get some nice action. None of the frets are bad on this guitar. I'll do the whole thing off camera, and you'll believe me. Were really rough on the edges. I did the whole thing. I taped off the whole neck and with the file and everything. I would say my one beef about this guitar is everything was a little bit sharp. The edge of the frets, the edge of the fingerboard here, the nut, it just felt like there wasn't a lot of attention paid to really smoothing over the corners and the edges and stuff. And so I did that. I did that with a file and with some sandpaper, and it feels so much better now. This nut is cut too wide, but I didn't want to take the chance of scratching the wood, and so I just took a little bit off of each side. I didn't have to turn the truss rod. I assume it works. Really very nice tuners for the price of this guitar. $204.23 and free shipping. Saw some people complaining about the Ivy, that there was glue and that it was sloppily done. This one looks pretty good. You could see a little bit of filling here and there, but that's okay. It's 24 frets. I haven't had 24 frets in a long time. Guitar weighs 6.4 pounds. Pretty cool. Very light. Very, very light. It's got 2 knobs, volume and tone. It's a plastic nut, I guarantee you. But it didn't take much work. This is cut really pretty well. And it passed the Radar Love test. If that's in tune, it means the nut's cut pretty well. That's my test. Strings come back at a nice angle because this is a headstock shape that's copied from a brilliant guitar maker. But you don't have to worry too much about a string break and things being out of tune. The neck is a wee bit chunky. The thickness of it feels like a Gibson Les Paul Jr. neck. You know how they're a little bit chunky, some of the newer ones. So it's definitely not like a PRS in that way. Aside of the shape of this guitar, this feels like more of a copy of a Gibson. It sounds more like a Gibson, and it plays, the neck is more like a Gibson. Center. Clean. I would gig with this guitar for sure. Now that I have fixed up the fret end and sanded things up a little bit, nothing else I would change about this guitar. This thing is spot on. $204. It's made in Vietnam. It might be a hit or miss company, but it looks like it's doing pretty well to me. My review is that this thing's pretty awesome. Well, that's my review. I like it. Hey, peace. Thanks to Skippy, PGH Live Jams. Please check out his channel. He's an awesome player. He's an awesome dude. He makes really great jam tracks, and he puts up recordings of local and national bands. That's it. Later on.